whichever is the case, both are in that region. So, Nupuretva Bhijanami, I can recognize only the Nupuram. Rama asks, how are you able to recognize only the Nupuram, Lakshmana? Nityam Pada Bhivandanat. Every morning I used to fall at my sister-in-law's feet, who is my mother. So, with that I am able to recognize this. Sugriva was doubtful. What culture do these humans have? Why should they fall at the feet of their sister-in-law? He won't understand. Later we will know that. Nityam Pada Bhivandanat. Now, Rama said, you go wake up your brother and come for a fight. We will finish this chapter soon, because after this only I have to go rescue Sita. Now Sugriva goes with the courage. எடுத்துறப்பி வந்து போர் எதிர்த்தியே லடற்பண்ணன் அடித்தலங்கள் கொட்டிவாய் மடித்தடித்து அலங்கு தோள் புடைத்து நின்றுழைத்த பூசல் புகைத்திய நமிக இடம் துடிப்பங்கு உறங்கு வாலிதின் செவி துளைக்கனே. See, Kamban's meter is such that you will get Veeram when you will read that particular verse. He is calling, Vali, come and give me a duel. Vali got up. He said, how dare that man comes and calls me for a war? I am going to leave now. While he got up from the pit, Tara held his hand. See, as per my spies, your brother has got into collaboration and arrangement with one another person called Rama. With that courage he is coming here. I would suggest, hey Vali, don't go now. Because I have heard about Rama. Nivasa vriksha sadhunam apannanam paragatihi artanam samshayaschaiva yashaschakraika bhajanam. I have heard that he is the asylum to those who are sadhus, who are artanam, who are people in distress, who seek relief. He is the asylum. So if Rama is the asylum to such people, Chaturvidha bhajante mam janaha sukritinodjunaha artaha jignasur artharti jnani cha bharatarshava, says Gitacharya, Krishna and Bhagavad Gita. 4 kinds of people seek asylum in me, Arjuna. Arjuna asked, who are those 4 kinds of people? Chaturvidha bhajante mam janaha sukritinodjunaha. Remember these 4 people. Artaha, jignasuhu, artharti, jnani. Artaha, the one who has lost wealth and gains that back, is called artaha in Sanskrit. Nashtaishwaryam. Imagine you have lost your cell phone. Tomorrow you get it back. It is not a new object you are getting, but you are getting your object which you had lost. So you are called artaha. Artharti means the one who gets new form of wealth. If you have got new cell phone today, you are artharti. If you have got back the cell phone that you have lost, you are artaha. So both these categories comes under a category called aishwaryarthi. Those who desire material pleasure in this world. Second, jignasu. Jignasu means one who wishes to know about the Jivatma more. They are called jignasu. Third category, this jignasu, they are called kaivalyarthi. Aishwaryarthi, kaivalyarthi. Third, jnani. Jnani means those people who desire to know about Paramatma. First you have known Jivatma, then you go to the next step to learn Paramatma. They are called Bhagavallabharthi. So Aishwaryarthi, Kaivalyarthi, Bhagavallabharthi. Aishwaryarthi are indicated by 2 names by Krishna, Artaha and Artharthi. Jignasu or Kaivalyarthi. Jnani is Bhagavallabharthi. So these are the 4 kinds of people. Alvar in the Tamil Prabandham mentions Eluvar, Vidaikolvar, Indulayyanai Valuvanigaindu Vaigal Toluvar. He mentions of the 3 categories. So these 3 categories are put forth as Nivasa Vriksha Sadhunam. It may seem a bit tough, but I am forced to explain that verse. Nivasa Vriksha Sadhunam Apannanam Paragatihi Artaram Samshayaschaiva Yashaschakraika Bhajanam. So do not go now, Vali, be careful. After she told this, Vali tells, Nachakkaryo Visharaste Raghavam Prati Matkrite. The all-knower, the omniscient, the omnipresent, the Sarvajna called as Rama will not get into me and my brother. Tara. He tells his wife Tara, he will never get into this. So at that point in time, there is one beautiful interjunction by Vyasa in Mahabharata, which is also Satyavakyam. When Draupadi is kidnapped by, you have to tell me the name. Dushasana pulled her. Who kidnapped Draupadi? Saindhava. Who is that Saindhava? See, he is correct. Sindhu Desha Maharaja, brother-in-law, because he was Dushyala's husband. His name was Jayadratha. He was the cause of, one of the causes of death to Abhimanyu. So Jayadratha kidnapped Draupadi. And then she was rescued back that time. Yudhishthira tells, see, my life has become such a pity. We are in the forest, my wife is kidnapped. That is when Markandeya comes and explains. See, do not go into the self-piteous mode. There was one person who was more a Dharmaraja than you. His name was Rama and his wife was kidnapped. So he mentions the entire Ramayana in Mahabharatam. At that point in time, Vyasa tells, Paryashankatatamir Sugrivam Gatamanasam. So Vali, the very moment Tara tells Vali, do not go and fight with Sugriva, become friends with Sugriva. She tells, right? So Vali doubts that his wife has been waiting to have a relationship with his brother. Shankayata. Now, Vali goes and then there is a duel between Vali and Sugriva. Both were looking same. Vani Rani, Sita Gita, all they were looking the same. So at that point in time, Rama was unable to recognize who is Sugriva, who is Vali. The first day, Sugriva was extremely wounded. He said, I believed you and me. Look at what state I am in. No, I knew that you were being pounded and you were being hit, Sugriva. Sugriva said, how did you know? Because generally the equation is whoever receives wounds is Sugriva, whoever hits is Vali. This is the general formula. Why did Sugriva have to go through this? Because he did Bhagavata Apacharam by not offering a seat to Lakshmana. Now, the next day, Lakshmana adorns Sugriva with a mala of Gaja Pushpam. It's called Gaja Pushpi Mala. So they go and start fighting. So as they fight, Rama, as they keep fighting through the entire day, at one point in time, Sugriva and Vali, while they were fighting, Rama stands in front of them. Note every word of mine. In front of them, hidden behind a tree, and shoots an arrow at Vali. That arrow goes and pierces Vali's chest, and like a tree that has been affected by a severe thunder and lightning strike, he falls on the ground. Muktastu vajra nirghoshaha pradipta shani sannibhaha raghavena mahabano Vali vakshasi paditaha Tadastena Mahateja Virya Yuktaha Kapishwaraha Vegena Bhihato Vali Nipapata Mahitale. He fell on the ground. The Tamil poet Kamban, don't think that I am digressing too much into the Tamil Ramayana. Well, other Ramayanams are also equally beautiful. Kamban does an excellent job in this conversation. So there is one verse which he suggests how Vali fell on the ground. Mummaishal ulagukkellam moola mandirathai மற்றும் தம்மையே தமர்க்கு நல்கும் தனி பெரும் பதத்தை தானே இம்மையே எழுமை நோய்க்கும் மருந்தினை ராமன் என்னும் செம்மை சேர் நாமம் தன்னை கண்களால் தெரிய கண்டான். கண்களால் தெரிய கண்டான். He saw through his eyes Rama. See what the way, I don't know, simple Tamil, kandeen in Tamil means I saw. There is another word for seen, parthen, rasiten, pakkambara, all this, you know the songs, right? Parthen means seen, I saw. Kandeen also means saw. Two words, if they mean the same meaning, then it is redundant, right? Pa Parten means seeing. Kanden means seeing with an element of surprise. If they keep water, for me I should say, they left water, Parten, which means I saw water. If they say, Thannir Vaitargal, Kanden, means I have not seen water for the last 6 months. That is the implication. He says, Ramam ennum semmai seyar namam tannai kangalal theriyak kandan, because he was not expecting Rama to kill him. And what did he see in that arrow? He took that arrow, it was inscribed on it Rama. Rama ennum semmai seyar. So it was a customized arrow. See, today we have all that customized t-shirts, mugs and all, right? So it was written Rama over it. Now, as Vali falls, because he is the one who has vanquished Ravana in a war. While Vali was once doing Sandhya Vandhanam, Ravana comes. I've heard that there is Vali here. Vali, come for a duel. Vali's wife Tara said, see, he is doing Sandhya Vandanam, don't disturb him. He is not a gentleman, he gets angry very soon. The moment Vali found this call for a duel very irritating and annoying, he came and he held Ravana in his in the gap between his arm and the body, and then he started flying from one ocean to the other, it seems. Ravana had a severe migraine. He will have 10 migraines together. From Arabian Sea to Bay of Bengal to Kanyakumari. After that, he left Ravana and Ravana fell down. And Vali said, it seems you wanted to have some fight, now can we have her? No, just like that I came. It was a comedy show, stand-up comedy. That's all. So, Vali is the one who has troubled even the so-called famous Ravana. Today, while he fell with one arrow, he had the shock of his life. Tears started rolling down his cheeks. Now, out of pain, that sudden shock. Then Rama comes slowly from behind the tree. He walks towards Vali. Then he recognizes this must be Rama and then starts telling. Kulinaha sattva sampanna tejasvi charita vrataha Rama karuna vedi cha prajanam chahide rataha Sanu krosho mahotsaha samayajnyo dridhavrataha Ityetat sarva bhutani kathayanti yasho bhuvi. This is a ninda stuti. See, Sanatana Dharma is unique in many ways. I'll tell you how. We treat God, Paramatma, Bhagavan, whichever form we have. See, if you ask what is the relationship between God and us, any religion will say He is God, we are a part of His creation, He is all powerful, we are at His mercy. But you know what is the relationship what Sanatana Dharma suggests? In certain cases, the Lord is the devotee's child. See, I don't know if you've heard of a great Sri Vaishnava Acharya. He was called Vatsya Varada Guru, later called as Nadadur Ammal. He treated Varadaraja as his very own son. That is why when piping hot milk was served, here you can't serve such hot drinks, right? Then there will be legal issues. So they'll say, keep your lips carefully, it may be lukewarm. So they served hot milk to Varadaraja. So Varadaraja next day came and said, see, my tongue has turned red because they served me hot milk. The next day, Vatsya Varada Guru, he started cooling the milk. He did. That point in time, the Lord remarked, it seems, only a mother does this to the child. Are you my mother? Neer in Ammalo. So there is a mother-son relationship. So there is you can be the Lord's consort. What did Radha think of Krishna? Vadasi yadi kinchidapi dantaruchi kaumudi haradu tarati miramadi ghoram priye charushile. He got late for that coffee meeting with Radha. She got angry, she got upset. Krishna comes and says, If you are angry, use your sharp nails to do some scratches on me. Through this, at least your anger should come down. If you are not happy with it, keep your lotus-like feet on my head. Mama Shirasi Mandanam. Will any civilization support such concepts where you are telling the Lord, where the Lord tells you, you hit me, you bite me. If you see a little Krishna, you may want to pinch his cheeks. If you go to Rajamannar Gudi, where he gives the darshanam of Rajagopala, Arivenunandavana Malandama Malare Manamuhandanaru Maname Manamalaindu Magarandam Tanai Nadi Varu Pannuhanda Karuvandanu Tingudale Kudalishaye Arave Nadamadu Marase Yenuire Yetanai Ketalum போதும் என்பதே இல்லை படியாச்சே கோபியருடன் குழலூதி கோபியரோடு உறவாடும் தன்னிகரில்லாத ராஜ கோபால சுவாமி. So if you look at Krishna, you may want to pinch his cheeks. Any civilization you go and tell, they'll ask you a question. How do you treat your God? I want to pinch him. Because Sanatana Dharma tells there is 9 forms of relationship between the Jivatma and Paramatma. So you can treat him the way you want. So there is one stuti called Ninda Stuti in Sanatana Dharma. No other religion, in my limited knowledge, approves of this, where you can go and insult the Lord. You have to insult the Lord sarcastically. See, I'll tell you what is sarcasm in the religious sphere. My Acharya, who taught me Sri Bhashyam, he's a great speaker, a great adhikari in Shastram. His name is Karunakarachar. So he comes in the lineage of Sri Bhashya Simhasanam. They are all authorities of Ramanuja's work, primary magnum opus called Sri Bhashya. It seems during his Balyam, he once went to a revered organization, Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. If you have not heard of it, I am just telling you, it's called Andavan Ashramam. So he went there. So at that point in time, the pontiff at that point in time was called Tirukudandai Andavan. So generally when we go to our matham or ashramam, our acharyas will say, go eat and come, like who our mothers will do. So he went. Before leaving, the acharya told my acharya Karunakaran Swami, go have the prasadam, it is excellent, it is lavanyam. Generally you don't use the word lavanyam for prasadam. Lavanyam means beautiful. But he thought, why is acharya using the adjective lavanyam for food? Anyways, he went. After eating, he realized why he said lavanyam, because the prasadam had lot of salt, lavanam. So he said lavanyam, which is sarcasm. You cannot, see, you should never find faults, but you have to speak the truth. So you will have to understand. See, generally if you go to a marriage, imagine there has been one batch of people who have consumed food. You are going next. You may ask the person whom you know in the previous batch, eppadi irukku? Means you have to think and eat. See, they have never said a word that it is bad. But that see, generally after the lecture, you go out. Imagine somebody is coming. How is the lecture? Thank God I am not coming, they will say and go. So the reaction that you give will determine the sarcasm in it. Now when Rama comes, you know what Vali says? You are called the epitome of mercy, right? You are called as a person who sticks to dharmam, right? You are the one who is treated with long arms, who fights war only if necessary, right? So look at the sarcasm. This is called Ninda Stuti as per the commentator Maheshwara Tirtha. Then he says, now he starts accusing. Look at this. If you listen to this lecture from here on, till now it is okay. From now on, if you listen, you will get cleared of all the doubts that come in Ramayana with respect to Vali's Maranam. Why did a great Kshatriya, a valorous person called Rama, have to end up shooting behind the tree and all of this? He could have gone and fought with Vali, right? He was a great Kshatriya. It doesn't matter whether you are before him or in front of him or not in front of him. Of course, there is one supportive statement that comes, that if you fight in front of Vali, half of Vali's valor or power will, half of the opposite person's power will go to Vali. So if it is 100 is to 100, then it will become 150 is to 50. 3:1 ratio it will become. So whoever goes and fights in front of Vali will become tired. Vali will become more powerful. So that is why Rama fought. Because if Rama goes and stands, half of his power will go. But that rule will not be applicable here, because Rama is not 100. He is fire. I'll tell you how. You take laddu. If I want half the laddu, you cut that laddu into half, give me half, and what is left? Half is left, correct. Now during Deepavali, I light other lamps. I take fire from this lamp to light the second lamp. How much of the fire in the previous lamp is left? Same. So Brahman is Purnam, Purnamada, Purnam idam Purnat. How much ever you take apart out of the whole remains a whole. You're able to understand? So even if Rama ends up fighting before Vali, this 150:50, 3:1, all that won't apply. So that rule is taken away. That is why people say Vali का जो बल है वो आधा जाएगा, इसलिए वो बाली है. That is why they say, but which is wrong. I'll tell you how. In nomenclature, in Khadi Boli Hindi, in Awadhi, Tulsidas refers to him as Bali. We have an island also in the archipelago nation called Bali. First of all, his name was Vali. But certain languages do not possess certain letters. Bengali as a language doesn't have the letter Va. So every word that has Va will become Va. Chakravarti will become Chakravarti, Vidya will become Vidya, Vrindavanam will become Vrindavanam. So that rule won't apply here. Now let us see what he accuses. He says, Rama, I have heard that you have lost your kingdom. See, Vali had very good general knowledge. He was reading the Times of Hastinapura, Times of Ayodhya, all those newspapers. So, I heard that you have lost your kingdom. Probably it is out of this madness, sheer madness, that you wanted to acquire my kingdom and you came all this way to kill me. Had you asked me, I would have given this kingdom. I am known to be a charitable person. I know that your father, in order to keep up the promise that he had made to his wife Kaikeyi, though he was not accepting to that promise, had to keep up with that promise because he was truthful, sincere, honest, grounded. And your brother Bharata, though he was given the kingdom of Ayodhya on a golden platter, refused to accept it because he thought Shastram tells the kingdom has to go to the eldest of the brothers and it belonged to you. And he relinquished the Rajyam which came to him. Your father was a sincere person, your brother was an honest person. Where were you born in the middle? Not having an iota of sincerity. Vaimayum maravum kaathu mannuir turandavallal tuyavan maindane nee baradan mun tondrinaye. You may say, Vali, you have committed this crime, that crime, but that doesn't matter. You have no right to come into this territory because this territory doesn't come under your jurisdiction. You have no rights to interfere in what is happening in my kingdom or not. First of all, you are not the coronated king. What position do you hold to come and question me? You may say, you have excommunicated your dear brother, you are holding your brother's wife captive, all that is fine, but you have no right to ask. Vishayeva puravate yada papam karomyaham na chatvam bhajaneham Kasmatam hamsya kilbisham. If at all you still think that you are a king is supposed to have forgiveness. Even if I've committed mistakes, you should be the one to forgive, and you are coming and punishing another person in a territory that doesn't come under your jurisdiction. Probably all of you who are fans of good Indian English literature will remember in The Merchant of Venice, Shylock makes a plea. Right? I want a pound of flesh closest to the heart without a drop of blood. Then comes a beautiful poem called The Quality of Mercy. You seem to possess no iota of mercy, Rama. Samadanam kshama dharma satyam dhriti parakramo parthivanam guna rajan dandaschapya pyukarishu. Rama, I have heard that Kshatriyas come on a hunting mode and end up hunting animals for variety of reasons. They hunt. I've heard that certain animals are being hunted down for their skin. A tiger, a deer comes up with a beautiful hide. So they hunt those animals. The flesh of deer is consumed. It's called venison. So a deer is hunted for that. A tiger's nails are also useful. I don't know if you have seen those necklaces all the miners used to wear. It's called Puli Nakham. You know, just for your information I'll tell, because Puli has come. In Srimad Bhagavatam, as soon as Krishna is born and shifted to Gokulam, in the first few days, weeks itself, there are many asuras who come. First comes the lady as a wet nurse called as Putana, Balaghatini. Then she is killed. Then a few days later, she keeps Krishna on a cradle next to a Shakatam, a damaged cart. And that becomes Shakata Asura, Utkacha. Then Trinavarta, who comes as a tornado. Probably if I had been in the Midwest and giving lectures, they'll be able to relate to it, right? So, while all this comes, Mother Yashoda is extremely concerned about her child, her son. So she wants to create an armor for her son, Kavacham. So she brings the nails of the tortoise, tiger, and makes a Kavacham, you call it the talisman, correct? So it's called Darat in Tamil. And she ties that to Krishna. Kurma Vyagri Nagaparimalayir Panchaheti Yashoda. Now we get a different kind of Darat. In those days they used to use nails of tiger and all of that. So animals were hunted for different purposes. Elephants are poached for ivory. Now Bali makes a point. I am neither an elephant to possess ivory. I am neither the deer nor tiger to have nails or hides that can be beautiful. I am a monkey. Nobody even consumes monkey flesh. I don't talk about the wet markets of Wuhan, I don't know. But here, Pancha Panchanakha Bhakshya Brahma Kshatrena Raghava. I have heard, Rama, that Kshatriyas consume meat. I told you yesterday itself, yesterday or the day before yesterday, Rama was a non-vegetarian. Some people can't accept that fact at all. Now, sir, in that case, what do we do for the Sannidhis in the temple? Remember, Sannidhi becomes an Archavataram. Archavataram has to follow Agamam. Agamam tells you should not place non-veg in the temple. Originally, they might have consumed. See, real Garuda, what he would have eaten? Snakes. Can we keep snakes in Garuda Sannidhi here? We can keep only Puliyore. Correct. Original Garuda will not have Puliyore. Right. But Agamam tells you have to keep only vegetarian food. That is why. Now there will be a question. Why? There will be a counter question. Why can't we keep fresh now? Bhadrachala Rama, original Rama might have had non-veg. But in the temple he will have only Dadyonam. So there were five nailed animals' flesh which could be consumed. Here goes the shloka. I told you I'll mention it that day. Pancha Panchanakha Bhakshya Brahma Kshatrena Raghava Shalyakaha. What does Shalyaka mean? Rhinoceros. Its flesh used to be consumed. Shvavidhaha, porcupine. Godha, iguana. Shashaha, rabbit. Kurmascha, tortoise. So these were the 5 animals' flesh which used to be consumed by Kshatriyas. This is nowhere close to what non-veg is being consumed today. Right? Panchamaha. So these are the 5 animals. I don't fall in the 5 animals category. This is what Vali is making an argument. I don't come. I'm neither a tortoise, iguana, porcupine, rhinoceros. I'm a monkey. I don't have ivory. I don't have skin that can be useful. I don't have nails which can be converted into necklaces. Why did you come and kill me? Then Vali says, see, I have found out the reason, Rama. You got mad at the demon who abducted your wife. So from this, what do we understand? Vali was cognizant that Rama's wife Sita was kidnapped. Okay, point. He said, your wife has been kidnapped by a demon. You were mad at him. You couldn't find him. So you wanted to showcase your anger on someone. So you showcased anger on me. Arakkan illai endral kurakkan kittitro. You couldn't find a demon. You found a monkey here. I have known that you are a very generous, magnanimous, simple, sober, grounded, sincere, honest person, but I do realize that all these virtues are found in you only if Sita is besides you. This is what I have understood. Mameva yadi purvam tvam yadertham machodayah maithilim ahameka akva tavachani tavan bhave கோயில் தருமம் உங்கள் குலத்துதித்தோர்களுக்கெல்லாம் ஓவியத்து எழுதவண்ணா உருவத்தாய் உடைமையன்றோ ஆவியை ஜனகன் பெற்ற அன்னத்தை அமிழ்தில் வந்த தேவியை பிரிந்தினை பின்னை திகைத்தனை போலும் செய்கை. So, you have lost Sita, you have lost all your virtues. Rama, what you have done is a sheer blot on the legacy of Raghuvamsham. From now on, Raghuvamsham cannot sing laurels and blow its own trumpet because you are the one who has caused that blemish on that Vamsham. Rama listened peacefully, quietly. Had we been in Rama's place, wait, Vali, don't say, we would have interjected. This is how we are. Rama patiently listened. See, the Stephen Covey, in his 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, 4th habit, he says, listen first to understand and then be understood. Correct? This is what is. So Stephen Covey must have read Ramayana in his Purva Janma. Rama must have inspired him. From being proactive till sharpen the saw, which is the 7th habit, he gets it from Ramayana. Rama patiently listened. Then he said, Vali, do you have some other points? Anything more to say? No. Lakshmana knew what was coming. When Rama starts his speech this way, that means he is going to end up giving a long lecture till 9 p.m. He said, Vali, Ikshvakunam yam bhumihi sashaila vanakanana. Please call your accountant, auditor. Ask your auditor, has he filed the taxes? In the receipt to filing, getting the acknowledgement for filing the taxes, you see, it is mentioned, please send this receipt to Ayodhya Processing Center. You told me that you do not fall under my jurisdiction, but your IT filing says that you come under the central government there. So, you may be unaware, but the truth will not change because of your ignorance. You are ignorant. Tell me that, Vali, that you are ignorant. But the truth is, Kishkindha comes under my jurisdiction. Now you may ask, Vali, when I say my jurisdiction, Rama, you are not the ruling king. Yes, I am not the ruling king. My father was ruling. I was supposed to rule. Bharata is now set to rule, but Bharata is ruling under the Padukas. Now, Bharata has deputed me as a supervisor in Kishkinda region. So I have been given the powers to ask and question if something is illegal and immoral, so I am questioning you. Do not question my authority. You may be wondering, Rama, you have come on hunting. I have no ivory, I have no nails with me like the tortoise or the tiger. How did you hunt? A person who wishes to hunt doesn't write an essay of 1,000 words why he wishes to hunt. If a person is hunting, he can end up hunting any animal. He doesn't have to give explanation as to I am hunting the tiger, because point number one, I don't have to explain why I am hunting you. You may say, I may have nothing. I may find some value in your body. You don't have to worry about that. And you are telling me, Rama, how did you leave away forgiveness? Shastram tells that you have to be extremely forgiving towards others. You talk about Shastram. The very moment you talk about Shastram, Vali, you cease to be an animal. You have become a human. Because animals don't understand Shastra. If you go talk to any animal in the US, tell what is Second Amendment, will that answer? I plead by the Fifth Amendment. Will that say? It won't say. Correct? Those animals will not have that knowledge. The moment the animals talk such languages, then they come under the human jurisdiction. So till you were telling that I am animal, it is okay. But you said, Shastram tells that Kshatriyas have to be forgiving. So you have studied Shastram. The moment you have studied Shastram, you have comprehended Shastram and you relate to Shastram, you are no more an animal, you are a human. And now you told me, Rama, I may have kidnapped my brother's wife, I may have excommunicated my brother. This is all common in our family. When you know Shastram and you become a human being, you have to adhere to the rules of a human being. A good human being, as per Shastram, should not approach his daughter, his brother's wife, with a bad or an evil thought. You have taught your brother's wife as your mistress, which in itself is an act that needs to be punished, and you need to be guillotined for that. You may be telling me, Vali, why, Rama, should you interfere? You are a Kshatriya, you have come to Uttar Pradesh, your wife is in Lanka, go take a direct flight called Air Lanka, finish that war and come. Why do you have to come to Karnataka and do all these politics? You may ask. See, Vali, I am a Kshatriya. You were talking about Dharma. Kshatriya Dharma tells you have to protect your subjects. Here I found that a person who had performed Sharanagati, who is Sugriva, you did not forgive him. First mistake. While not forgiving your brother Sugriva, despite him performing Sharanagati, you even held his wife captive, which is the second mistake. When I see glaring mistakes in front of my eyes as an honest Kshatriya, I have to take action. You may ask, Vali, that if all this were to happen in Kosala region, you could have done Rama, but why are you coming to Kishkinda region? A Kshatriya, wherever he goes, he is a Kshatriya. I am giving an example from India. I don't know about the example here. Imagine there is an inspector called Ratnavel from T4 police station, Saidapet. 2 days later, he is going to his relative's house in Arepuram, Raja Annamalapuram. And while he goes to that house, he sees one man beating his wife on the road. Now this inspector's wife tells, go and ask that man, he should not be doing that. See, I am T4 police station's police. I will not interfere. In T3 police station, you will not ask. So wherever you are, it is your duty of the police to question something that is wrong. I saw something wrong here, so I am questioning. Do not tell me where my jurisdiction lies. You may be telling, Rama, you have lost your wife, that is why you have lost your senses, you have become a lunatic. So you were aware that my wife is missing. How? Because she must have cried for help. How do I know that? Because your brother ended up showing me jewelry when she cried for help. So that cry for help was heard even by you. As a Kshatriya of this region, you should have gone to the rescue of my wife. Instead, you looked at Ravana and said, bye. So you were supportive of Ravana's criminal action because Ravana and Vali had a tie-up. There is a verse in Uttarakandam that comes. You know, the moment Ravana fell from Vali's clutches, he says, no, I didn't come to fight with you. From today, Vali, Tava Putraha, my sons are your sons. My region is your region. My kingdom is your kingdom. My action is your action. My wives are your wives. Now you may be wondering, sir, was this uttered by Ravana? I will tell you Ravana's verse from Uttarakandam. Daraha putraha puram rashtram bhogachadana bhojanam sarvamevadi vibhaktam no bhavishyati harishvara. This is the 23rd verse in Gayatri Ramayanam. It is the 41st verse of the 34th adhyayam in the 7th canto, which is Uttarakandam. This begins with Daraha. What does this da imply? Prachodayat. Varadilya? That da. So he tells, my wives are your wives. What kind of a moral character this Ravana had? So the understanding was, if he does some criminal action, this man will not question. If that man does a criminal action, he will not have a question. So when Sita was being kidnapped, he said, thumbs up, emoticon. Good, done, carry on. So for a person of such a low caliber and thought, you need to be killed, Vali. So I have shot this arrow. Any other questions to ask, Vali? Vali said, whatever I have committed is a mistake. Pratyuvacha tato ramam pranjalil vanareshwaraha. He put his palms together. 1 to 10, convincing reply. Second, tell him, don't continue any further. Yatvamatha narasreshta tattaivana samshayaha. I have committed a mistake. I should have not sent my brother when he sought Sharanagati. Now I realize, Rama. I should have not treated my brother's wife in such an evil angle. She is like my daughter. I should have not done that. I should have come to the rescue of your wife, Sita, Rama. I don't know why I did like this. I should have not questioned you at all, Rama. See, my arrogance had clouded my eyes and acted as a veil. That is why out of sheer arrogance and ignorance I put such questions to you. I have committed a mistake. Now, Vali, the accused, the accuser, now says that I am the person who has committed the mistake. Case closed. You have to archive the case in the library. Now, we don't read the original. Somebody in Quora.com will tell, Vali was killed, Rama did this, is it right or wrong? Immediately we'll read 2-3 verses commented by some person, commentator there, and then we'll say, ऐसा राम को नहीं करना चाहिए था, ये तो बहुत गलत है. जैसे कि हम पूरा वो मूल रामायण पढ़ चुके हैं, हम यदि पूरा मूल पाठ किए हैं, आचार्य वर्ष से कोई कालक्षेप हुआ है, प्रवचन सुने हैं, या हम खुद रिसर्च किए हैं, तो बात कर सकते हैं. So, making sweeping statements on scriptures will only put us and make us ignorant in the assembly of scholars. So, if at all we have questions on Ramayana and Mahabharata or Bhagavatam, first read the original. Nobody has the patience. 24,000 verses Ramayana, 1,25,000 verses Mahabharatam. Second, we don't know the language in which it was being delivered, Sanskritam. Vyasa and Valmiki did not give it in English, in which language we have mastered more than Wren and Martin. So, when there is no patience, we don't want to read, we don't want to listen, questions will be many. That is the beauty. We have all become Prashna Chakravarti. What have we become doctors at? Questions. First read, first listen, research, then ask questions. This Sanatana Dharma does not forbid you from asking questions. This is one civilization that believes that questioning is an art and questioning is one of the only means to better realization. But do it after extensive research. You know, the way people ask questions, it will be in such a way as if they have created Andamum Padaittu Ulagamaitayum Tangi Nan Seida in the Ulagatil Kelvi Ketpadar. The way they ask questions. Because I come from one of the states where every leader will ask questions in Tamil Nadu. Rama did this, Rama did that. They have problems with Rama because he had one wife. They won't have problems with Krishna because they can follow Krishna very easily. Right? Now, after this Aparadhakshamanam was done, now all this is done. He was accused, Rama was accused, Rama gives an explanation, Vali is convinced. But there is a point. Rama did everything right, but why should he stand behind the tree? He could have stood before the tree and given a short right. But the point is, the counterpoint is, the duel was between Sugriva and Vali. See, there was no direct reason for Rama to fight Vali. See, if Rama comes in front of Vali, Vali will say, hey, Namaskara Rama, how are you, how's your father? Then Rama has to say, now we have to fight. Why should we fight? See, there was no proper reason. Of course, Vali was at fault. But there was no proper reason. So Rama could not have fought. But still, why did Rama shoot from behind the tree? Well, for this there is a beautiful explanation. I'll give you an explanation. Whether it is beautiful or not, you check. The commencement of Srimad Ramayanam in Balakandam, the celestials headed by Indra go and prostrate at the lotus-like feet of the Lord in Karya Vaikuntham or Kshirabdi, telling that the demons are causing extreme calamities and problems on Mother Earth, and to restore normalcy and righteousness, the Lord should be born. So the Lord says, Siddha Gandharva Yakshasta Tadaswam Sharanam Gataha, do not worry, I will be born as Rama, and all you Devas should be born as monkeys. Do you remember day 1 at about 4:15 I spoke this shlokam? Right? Before Rama Jananam, this shlokam came. It came. Don't worry. Don't doubt it all. It came. So, Indra was to be born as Vali. Surya as Sugriva. Vayu as Hanuman. Agni as Nila. Vishwakarma as Nala. So, this was the arrangement. But what did Vali do? Vali, instead of helping Rama, he went into the opposition camp, which is he joined Ravana. Okay, how is this? For this, one of the greatest speakers in the Tamil language, his name was Pulavar Kiran. He used to give a very interesting anecdote. Let's say there is a 3-day play at SSVT. Day 1. It is an act from the Sangam work, the Tamil Sangam work, a very classical old work called as Silapadigaram. The story of the anklet, where there was a beautiful woman, very, very coy, very shy, a repository of all good auspicious attributes. Her name was Kannagi. She is married to the merchant of those times called as Kovalan. While they were leading a happy life, this man falls in love with a courtesan called as Madhavi, and he happens to stay in her house. He squanders all his rich wealth spending on her. So this is the story. So the marriage scene of Kannagi and Kovalan is enacted on day 1 at SSVT auditorium. What do you call this auditorium? Auditorium. Okay, in this auditorium. So I am the director. Okay, I have directed this play. I am standing behind the screen. I am having the dialogue sheet with me. I know what is the sequence. The crew is behind. The cast is getting ready. The crew is behind. Everything is ready. Now the scene is that of the first night of Kovalan and Kannagi. So Kannagi walks with a jar of hot milk. As she walks, Kovalan describes her. Annanadai padaitha Kannagi varu. Oh, the one with the gait of a swan, come towards me. This is, and then he describes, oh, the one with a slender waist, moon-like countenance, beautiful fish-like kundalams in your ears. All this he describes. This is day 1. Everyone appreciates. They all clap. Excellent drama, very good director. They leave. Second day, day 2, I am the same director. I have directed day 2 also. Day 2, the play is different. It is Kamba Ramayana. First day it was Silapadigaram, second day it is Kambaramayanam. Kambaramayanam, the sequence is Lakshmana has to come and seek the permission of Sumitra. So he has to tell, mother, my brother has been ordained to go to the forest, even I wish to go and help him in his exile period, please give me permission. This should be his dialogue. But instead, what happens, the first day whoever acted as Kovalan is Lakshmana today. The one who acted as Kannagi is Sumitra today. First day it is husband-wife relationship, now son-mother relationship. He should be telling mother, I have to go to the forest. Instead he says, the one with a slender waist, moon-like face, star-like eyes. The audience, what is this? Silapadigaram's inertia, hangover, or is it, what is happening? They get confused. Now he has uttered the wrong dialogue. Now first day they appreciated, good director. I came after the thing was over, I did like this, everybody took my autograph and went. Second day I am the director. Immediately audience will ask, where is the director? No, I will not come in the front. What I'll do? I will take one huge rod. I will pull this Lakshmana by his collar and take him from the backstage, correct? The world is a stage. I am not telling this. Shakespeare tells this. King Jacks, he is a cynic in As You Like It. So, in As You Like It, he says, all the world's a stage and all the men and women mere players. Right? So the world is a stage. Vedanta Deshika tells in Dashavadara Stotram, Bhumika. So this is one play, this is one Rangam. Sri Rangam is the Nritta Sthanam for Mahalakshmi and Narayana. So this is a stage. In this stage, the Lord, who's the director, had asked Indra to be Vali. The dialogue given was, Rama, I will come and help you, was his dialogue. Instead, what did he do? He uttered the wrong dialogue. Ravana, we will become friends. Who's the director? Rama. He thought if he comes in the front and pulls him, it will be an act of idiosyncrasy. So he took and pulled him quietly. That is why he stood behind the tree and pulled Vali, who uttered the wrong dialogue. So this act of standing behind the tree was not to escape Vali's extra boon that anybody who fights him will get will lose half its power, was not for that. It was neither to tell that I should not interfere, but to say this man has uttered the wrong dialogue by going to the wrong camp, so I shall pull him behind. So, Vali, now while he dies, he calls Sugriva and tells him, Raghavasya cha te karyam kartavyam avishankaya syadharmo hyaharane tvam cha himsyadavamanitaha. Sugriva, I have one advice for you. You are a nice man. You have promised Rama that you will help him with your army. Honor your promise. Why did he have to say that? There is a reason why. I'll tell you later. Now Vali tells Angada, his son, see, I am leaving you to the custody of my dear brother. He will take good care of you, but remember, what all nakhras that you were doing with me, you should not do with your uncle. Only parents will accept their children's tantrums, nobody else. Behave yourself. Yatha hitvam mahabaho lalitaha satatam maya natatha vartamanam tvam sugrivo bahumanyate nasya mitrair gatam gaccherma shatrubhirarindama bhartur artha parodantah sugriva vashago bhava. Then Tara comes in that scene with the disheveled hair. She comes and she wants to abuse Rama. Then she tells, Tvam aprameyascha durasadascha jitendriyascha uttama dharmikascha akshaya kirtischa vichakshanascha kshitiksamavan kshatajopamaksha. She is coming to abuse. She tells, Tvam aprameyascha, the one whose Mahatvam is beyond one's understanding and description. Aprameyana Adi Sidalo Yashoda de jagado uddharana tvam aprameyascha durasadascha jitendriyascha. You have won over your senses, for which the commentator tells what she means looking at Rama by telling you won over your senses. Yen Mamanarai pol Ahalya Jaran Allani, tells the commentator. She meant, it seems, you are not like my father-in-law Indra. Rama, you are not like my father-in-law, because Indra was Ahalya Jaran, the one who misbehaved with Ahalya. You are not like my father-in-law. You are neither like my husband who misbehaved with his brother's wife. Ivanai polavum alla, Mamanarai polavum alla. You are neither like Brahma who was Sudabhirakshanam. Sudabhiraksha means one who forced his daughter. You are neither like Brahma, you are neither like my father-in-law, nor like my husband, nor like Chandra who's misbehaved with his teacher's wife Tara. You have lost your wife, you have lost your kingdom, yet you know how to respect other women. So you have won over your senses. Jitendriyascha Uttama dharmikascha. You have killed my husband. I thought you have done a heinous act, but now I understand. You thought if you keep him alive for some more time, he may end